Chapter 1: The Beginning. On March 25, 1942, there was a secret Japanese government facility located on the other side of the world called Gilbert Facility. It was a hospital that held a secret project that was meant to save people from a severe super cancer that was contagious. There was sadly no cure. However, on May of 1942, they had the idea of transferring one's soul from one body to an object or mechanism of any kind of their choosing. So they labeled it as the Save the Kids project. They had their technical engineers make some high-tech mechanical robots that was hopefully able to handle a human soul. 3 patients that had this disease were ever so willing to be part of the projects and signed up for it. The 3 patients, patient 20, patient 48, and patient 63, were sent to a testing chamber where the soul transfer would be in pursuit. They were strapped onto the hospital bed for safety precautions and were knocked out with a shot so that they couldn't feel anything during the process. As they put the metal soul extractor tube on the 3 of their hearts and brain, the energy from their body began to drain as the soul begins its transfer. Their heart rate began to drop fast and went straight onto a flat line. Right when the scientists thought the test was unsuccessful, the robots began to awaken and talk. The test was unsuccessful and the 3 patients have been saved from super cancer. Having patient 20 put in fairy tale tie, patient 48 put in fairy tale Coley, and patient 63 put in fairy tale Sally. However, they didn't want this to happen to the 3 patients. They wanted them to have their organic forms rather than living in a metal body. But there was no other choice they had. There was liquid antidote they were working on, but they feared it would make a virus worse than it already was, so they didn't bother running tests with it just yet. They called it code Radzla. On January 4, 1943, the owner of the Gilbert facility, Gilbert, was very ill. The son of Gilbert was there when his father later passed away from old age. Before his death, Gilbert said he had wanted to live on for eternity so that he could be there as many people were being saved from the virus. So Alai had an idea. He would use the soul transporter they had invented a year ago on his father and have the scientists working on Gilbert's facility help him make a machine that would provide energy like no other to keep the mecharobots up and running so that the 3 patients and many other would stay alive and not shut down. On July 17, 1943, the machine was finished at last. They had the father's body put onto a hospital bed and the machine hooked up to a bunch of computers and monitors, putting as much as possible. They couldn't tell whether this will work or not since the father was already dead, but suddenly the machine was activated on its own, had a voice, a mind of its own. It was a beautiful creation they had accomplished. On September of 1943, Gilbert facility had received a phone call coming from America. The person behind the line had a very unsettling voice, as if he was looking into an inside job. He asked about the machine and its power, and what it will cost to purchase such a device for them. Alai said that it wasn't for sale, and to have a nice day. As Alai hung up, he felt uncomfortable with the person he was just talking to on the phone. In America, when Alai hung up on the head boss of the mafia drug gang, Allison, he was pissed. He wore a red trench coat, blue jeans, and a white fedora. He told the gang, "Pack your bags, we're going to Japan." As the gang packed up their bags and booked a flight at the airport, they had devices of their own that they had created that would disguise many weapons and metal objects as safe and anonymous object.